Hello, this is John from the Lost Blokes. Today's a little bit of a deviation. I've decided I need to work on some leather work today. Now, I'm not actually going to be working on leather work on the stream. What I'm going to be doing is converting image files over from image, PNG, or JPEG, that kind of thing, into an STL file, which then I can print on my resin printer and use as a stamp in leatherworking. So let me switch to main screen here. Okay, now I should have sound. Okay, so for example, what I'm talking about is a stamp like this. Okay, so what you have here is just a piece of resin printed onto a shape, and I can take this and stamp it onto um, a leather round like this. And I don't have one of them, an example of one here, but it will leave an imprint of this onto the leather round, and then that becomes a awesome coaster. Uh, yeah, so that's what that is. The converting software that I use is image to STL.com, or IMAGETOSTL.com. And this is what the screen looks like. It's extremely simple to use. You just click on upload a file, and I'll use the one that I used here. You have this, and then you control several settings here. So I always enable smoothing. We're going to image convert because we have the image that we want to actually press into the leather is black. So we're gonna output input invert the output. Wow. Okay. I like to make the depth 6 millimeters. That's what I have here, and it is a good strong um, uh, size to use. The height. It doesn't crush, and as long as you don't put down full amount of pressure on your stamping unit, you're okay. I add a base because it's all about the base, and I also go 6 millimeters on that because that again it worked out great. We're going as a standard STL file in binary format, which is what most of the slicing software will use properly. Okay, and then you just simply click convert to STL. Very simple. Okay, and then what it's going to do, it's going to convert. It's going to give me an image preview of what the STL file is going to look like. Okay, so here is a 3D preview, and that actually looks exactly like my stamp. And then you just download it. It couldn't possibly be any easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for a let's see. We'll search for the Jedi Order symbol. Okay, so we have tons of images already. What I like to do is go up to images, specifically to search for images, um, and then change the size to large because you're going to get your best resolution images off of that. Now, these are image files. Yes, they're created by people, but these are copyrighted images anyway. So, you know, it's not like I can't just use it to convert. At least, you know, in my twisted logic, I guess. So let's see. I'll just find something really simple. Simple dimple. Here, wallpaper safari. Let's see if that's crisp. It's pretty crisp. I don't like this little strange edge here. Let's see about this one. Oh, that's a vinyl sticker. Okay, so we're not going to use that. How about something like this? That's pretty cool. All right, let's see if that is able to be snagged. Let's see here. And since this is all for my own use, let's see once. What will it give me? All right, let's take a look at this in a folder just to make sure that we are getting what we want. Okay. All right, so I had trouble, I think, with an image very similar to this in that it it did some weird things. So we'll try it. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go back to our convert page here. Let's just select that. All of our settings will remain the same. We'll enable smoothing, invert the output, and we'll go 6 and then 6 for the base, and we'll see what we get. And that's kind of the opposite of what we wanted as well, because we don't want it to press in. We don't want that part. Well, I mean, you know, having that part raised would be great, but we'll run into problems with when we press in, because then everything outside of this base will also be raised. So we don't want that. So let's go back here. Let's upload that same one. And let's take the invert output off, and let's see if that makes a difference. Now we should have a positive. However, like I said, I think this file isn't going to work properly. Well, that could work. Part of it is missing, though, and that's what I noticed before. If you go way in on this, you can see that it's a pretty clean line, or pretty clean STL. You get into a little bit of weirdness over here, but I can take care of that as well. All right. So let's take this file. Let's download it. Yeah. And the same problem I ran into earlier is that here, drop it in 3D objects. All right, let me find the file real quick, and I will be right back on it. I thought I dropped it in here. Till I die. All right. Come on now. Show me the money. Show me what you got. Okay, I found it. So now I will open it up using the software that I'm going to use. All right, give me a minute here to bring that up. So what I'm going to do, and I don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm going to bring up Mesh Mixer, and hopefully that's not going to overtax my CPU and knock me off the internet. All right, what I'm going to do is also add Mesh Mixer in, so you can see what I'm doing there. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? I have it on top of everything. Okay. This will work. This will work just fine. All right, so we're going to import from 3D Objects what I just downloaded. Where is it? Is this it? We'll see. Okay, yep. So here we have it. Now, I had mentioned that that has kind of a weird drop off there and some weird, you know, things going on there. So I think what I'm going to do is actually reconvert. And I'm going to make it deeper. All right, we'll go there. We left the invert input off on that one. I'm not going to compress the result. X-axis or Z-axis mirror. What that actually does is something kind of interesting. It takes the plane, the base, and it puts the same exact image on the back. So it would have this back here as well, which isn't going to help me any. But just so you know what it does. All right, we'll change it to, we'll go with a depth of 12 and a base of 6. Now, there's a reason 12 would be too high, and I think that it would cause crushing issues with the stamp itself when we went into the press. So I'm going to leave that off. Or I'm going to, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're going to convert it. Till I die. All right, we've got it. We'll download it. Did it download? I didn't see whether it came up. Okay. Did it? Is this it? All right. Well, I'll be able to tell very shortly. All right. Bring Mesh Mixer back online here. And I'll import it. Okay, so now we have the same thing, but it is a deeper object. You see how that is, and so we see the tapering, and then we also see this odd steepling here. And we don't want that, because that will cause issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to Edit. We're going to go to Plane Cut, and it's going to bring up the plane cutter. Now, real important here, you see, here's the plane that we're cutting. See that? All right, now, it's cutting, if you look at this arrow right here, it's going to cut everything below the plane. So we don't want that. We want to cut above the plane. So I'm going to grab here onto this red curve, which is going to allow me to change the angle of the plane. We're going to go out to here where you see these tick marks, and we're going to drag it along these tick marks until we get to 180. The reason we're dragging on the tick marks is because that makes it exact by 5 degrees. All right, we're getting some CPU crunchage here. Come on. There, 180. We'll release it there. Hopefully it's... Nope. Dang it. All right. Did I just go the wrong... Nope, there we go. All right. There we go. We have a plane. All right, so remember, we want to go 6 millimeters approximately, because I found that that's a good height. So here we have 6 millimeters from the top of the plane here to the bottom of the base. We're going to grab onto this purplish blue arrow, which is the up down. So we're not free-forming here. We're just literally moving that plane, and we're going to bring that up to 6. Okay, well, you know, if it makes me do 7.5, I'm okay with that. So here, now it shows what we're cutting, okay, and what's going to be left. There were some odd striations and things coming from the edges as well, so this will help to take care of that as well. So now we are pretty happy with what we've got. We're going to cut up here. Oh, okay, wait, you can't see that. Let me pull it down. Now it shows the plane cut settings here. The cut type is going to be cut and discard half. And we already know what we're discarding because that little arrow is pointing above, so we're discarding what's on top. And then we're going to do a remeshed fill because we want to remesh what we're cutting, because if this STL is hollow, we're not going to have a surface. So we want to remesh fill, and then we click accept. Oops. Oh no, I actually had the arrow on the wrong page. Oh dang, did it? Oh dang. Okay, let's do this again. Did it stay there? Nope. All right, sorry. So I've got to fix this. All right, we're bringing it over to 65, 70, 75, 80. Come on. There. Is that right? Oh! Don't you love it? Come on, CPU. You can do this. Okay. Boop. All right. And again, we're going to run this up to... All right, that's fine right there. Okay, again, that's what we're cutting off. We're going to cut and discard half and accept. There we go. All right, so now we have a very clean surface. You see that? You don't have the striations running in from the edges. And there's only very minor steepling on those edges there. So this is going to be a really clean press. Just like that. Okay, now we can save, or I'm sorry, no, with Mesh Mixer we want to export. So we're going to export it Still going to be in STL. Now, why is that saying ASCII format? We're going to go to binary, and then we're going to type in Jedi 1, and we'll save that in 3D objects. All right, now I'm going to save it in ASCII as well. So we're going to export one more time, just in case. Jedi 1 ASCII. All right. And we'll save it like that as well. Okay, all of this extra stuff around this base isn't going to matter. It's not going to affect whatsoever. So we're going to export it again. So we'll have two different files to look at. And we're going to use CheetoBox for our slicer. I have an Anycubic Photon Mono. I bought it when it was the 2K version, which is fine. I mean, it does just fine. Hopefully, upgrading in a year or so up to one of the Anycubic Photon M's or the M Plus. If I can do the M Plus, I'm going to do the M Plus because then I can make much bigger prints. And then there's one step above that even that actually has an autofill for the resin, which is spectacular. But okay, we're done converting. So we're going to just close out Mesh Mixer here. You know what? I'm going to save the project as well. Okay, so now we're closed out there. And Let me bring up CheetoBox, and I'll bring that over. Okay, here we have CheetoBox. Best slicer, in my opinion, for STLs, for resin. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Where is it? 3D objects. Here, Jedi 1. There it is. Now, obviously, it's too big for my build plate. No problem. But let's take a little look. Because remember, I was worried about the steepling and all that. There's a little bit, but not enough where it's going to cause a problem. Now, I'm not gonna hollow this out because I want this to be as solid and as strong as possible. Instead, we're going to just go to scale to fit, and then we're going to bring it up just a little bit so that it fills the build plate. Now, alternatively, if I really wanted to absolutely, make this bigger, I could flip this on its side. But, whoa. And I'll show you what that would look like, and that works just fine. Let's rotate it here. Oops, wrong way. So I could bring it up on its side like this, and I could turn it. Oops. Like that, and then I could scale it up by quite a lot, actually. Now, this one is fairly good in that we probably could almost print it as is, but there's going to have to be some supports in here the way that it currently is sitting, for at least for these two. So if we were to do supports, let me show you what that would look like. It's going to give us a raft down there. And then let's go to all. Here's what it's going to give us for support. And this isn't bad. It's just a matter of kind of a pain in the ass. And this would probably print just fine. But let's take a look at how long it would take to print this. All right, let's just, I don't know, what's my height? I don't want the height to be over 90 millimeters. So let's see. Okay, 121 millimeters. So let's make this 90. Yes, we can remove the supports. Remove the supports. All right, that's 9. We don't want that. We want 90 millimeters. Okay. Oh, shit. I changed it percent. That's okay. Well, it's roughly 90 anyways, so that's fine. Let's go back. Pardon my language there. In our normal streams, it doesn't matter. This one, it probably does a little bit. Okay, so let me re-add the supports here. Okay. Hopefully everybody can still see what I'm doing. I'm not looking. Oh, nope, you can't, can you? Doggone it. Okay, there we go. All right. Is it really not coming up, or what's going on? Okay. So you can see that it generates those supports. I have them set to, let's see, what did I set those supports to? Medium. Okay. I do have them set to medium because something like this runs the risk of pulling right off. But again, now that we have our supports on, let's slice it and let's see how long this will estimate to take. Yeah, 5 hours, 48 minutes. Notice that. You can't see it, but it's up here. 5 hours and 48 minutes it would take to print this. And don't necessarily want to take 5 hours and 48 minutes. But the cool thing is it shows you your volume as well, how much it's going to take to print it. And this is with it, with 100% fill rate. At 6-second exposure time and a lift, so it's the normal stuff. But boop, 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 boop. Come on. I don't want to make it full screen, but okay. So that's what we'd be looking at standing up. I'm gonna save it just for giggles. Jedi 1. Vertical. Okay. Body till I die. All right. We're waiting for it to convert the file here. Wow, that's funny. It came up on the monitor screen before it came up on. There we go. Boop. Oh. It's taking a little bit longer than usual just because I have so many different things running. But I want to show you, once this is done, I'm going to show you how, what the time, what kind of time it'll take to print if I put it horizontally instead of vertically. Okay, it's done. So we're going to go back. We're going to rotate it back down. flat. And okay, we're gonna flatten by face, pop. There we go. Now it should be right on the build plate. Yes. Now technically we can build it straight to the build plate. Something this big, it always runs the risk of not adhering because of or not staying on the build plate, because I don't like using a raft and supports for something like this, because it's going to be flat. The raft is going to be the same size as the piece anyway. So we're just going to scale it down to fit. Now we can't get 90 millimeters. So we're going to sacrifice a little bit there, 75 millimeters, which is, going to come out on that leather round kind of small. So doing it the other way is optimal. But let me show you here again. Let's slice it. Look at that, 31 minutes and 51 seconds is the estimated print time. And the volume is so much lower as well. So it's going to use less because it's smaller. But the print time isn't because it's smaller, it's because it is shorter. So it can be the whole size of the build plate and take the same amount of time. That's why when you do builds with these kind of printers, if you're doing miniatures, for example, you wanna put as many miniatures on there as you can comfortably put. So 4 to 6, because it's going to take the exact amount of time to print 6 miniatures as it is to print 1 miniature. All right, so we have that. So now I'm going to save it again. Jedi 1. Horizontal. There we go. And then I'm going to save it to a flash drive, take it over to the 3D printer, and in about 45 minutes or whatever, we'll have something very similar to this. Very similar to this, but with the Jedi symbol. And that one should press in pretty well. I can get a lot more detailed on that, but and what I mean by that is the actual unit can have a lot more detail like you see on here. And believe all of these runes come out absolutely perfectly in the leather. And all right, so I'll conclude it there. This was just a real quick workup on another leather press that I wanted to make for upcoming project, and wanted to share that with y'all. If you like this kind of stuff, then like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you'd like me to do next. I also will do custom leather stamps. So if you send me a vector file, I can convert it, I can put it on the printer, and I can make it for you. I can, if you want, press it into leather. I can make some coasters. I can make just about anything else. So if you want a headband with a certain symbol on it, let me know. I can create that. Yeah, get in touch with us here at the Lost Blokes, and either send us an email, pop over to Facebook, where you can also find us at the Lost Blokes, and check out Shutter Club as well on Facebook. That is our horror side, our horror dedicated side to our YouTube channel, sister Facebook group thing. All right, so without keeping this too long, thanks again, and we'll see you next time. This has been John.